Good morning and welcome to Poudre Valley REA's annual meeting. I'm Amy Rozier, Vice President of Member and Government Relations here at your local electric cooperative. While we wish we could be hosting this event live and in person like usual, we're glad you're able to join us virtually because we have a great morning lined up to illustrate how we are focused on continually delivering more to you, our members. Now for a few housekeeping items. If you have any technical difficulties, questions, or comments, just email us. We also have a great selection of door prizes this year. For your chance to win, all you need to do is visit our webpage and fill out the form. We're talking gift certificates from local businesses, small appliances, and much more. And then, not only one, but two grand prizes. The first is a voucher for an electric bike of your choice, and the second is a home electrification kit that includes an electric lawnmower, snow blower, leaf blower, hedge trimmer, Ring doorbell, and Nest thermostat. And finally, to all those high school seniors out there, don't forget to submit your entry for our annual $1,000 Luck of the Draw scholarship. Winners will be randomly selected and contacted following the meeting. And we'll post the winners on our website. So without further delay, let's get this started. First, let's meet your Poudre Valley REA Board of Directors.
I'm Steve Anderson, Board Chair representing Larimer County.
I'm Rick Johnson. I serve Larimer County.
Hello, I'm Jim Fender, Secretary of the Poudre Valley REA Board from Larimer County.
I am Brian Ehrlich. I am a director and I represent Larimer County.
Hey everybody, Pete Highland, Poudre Valley REA Weld County Board Member.
Hi, my name is Thane Mickey. I'm on the Board of Directors and I represent Larimer County.
I'm Jan Peterson on the Poudre Valley REA Board of Directors representing Larimer County.
My name is Jack Snyder. I represent Weld County.
My name is Ron Sutherland. I represent Boulder County on the Poudre Valley Board of Directors.
Thank you to our Board of Directors. Now I'm going to turn it over to Board Chair Steve Anderson. Steve?
Thank you and welcome to our second virtual annual meeting. First, I would like to give a special thanks to Jim Fender for his years of service to Poudre Valley REA and all the Colorado cooperatives. Jim is retiring from our Poudre Valley REA board after more than 10 years of service. He brought so much wisdom and experience to our cooperative, and for that, we are thankful. Please join me in wishing Jim all the best on his next adventures. Jim's replacement will be announced at the conclusion of this meeting. On August 13th, 2020, our beautiful region faced a devastating wildfire that lasted 114 days. The Cameron Peak Fire not only impacted our area and cooperative, but also our members. As the largest wildfire in Colorado history, it burned over 208,000 acres. There were mandatory evacuations and destruction of property, but thankfully, there was no loss of life. And that is something to be extremely grateful for considering the size and duration of this fire. However, the Cameron Peak Fire did cause damage to our infrastructure. We replaced 400 poles and 20 miles of line. Overall, our system sustained $3.5 million in damages. We are working with FEMA and hope to get most of these dollars reimbursed. But because of Poudre Valley REA's emergency response planning and hard work from our dedicated employee team, we were able to combat this extensive wildfire while restoring power as safely and quickly as possible. And that is how we are committed to delivering more, even through a natural disaster. From all of us at Poudre Valley REA, we offer a heartfelt thank you to all the first responders, line crews, and community partners who work tirelessly to battle the blaze to support those in need. Because of their hard work and dedication, we were able to overcome and power on. But the biggest impact of the Cameron Peak Fire was not the number of poles, miles of line burnt, or dollars spent. The biggest impact was to the lives of our members, as some were forced to leave their homes without knowing when or to what they would be returning to. Our thoughts and prayers continue to go out to those impacted by this fire. What a better way to hear about that impact of the Cameron Peak Fire than to have one of our members tell her story. I would like to introduce Poudre Valley REA member Connie Archer, General Manager of Archer's Poudre River Resort in Rustic. Thank you for your support and enjoy the rest of the meeting.
I've lived in the Poudre Canyon for 20 years. We took over in 1999. We have groceries, we have souvenirs, we have propane, we have gas, of course cabins, RV, and tent sites, full service. The Poudre Canyon is unique in Colorado because it is Colorado's nationally designated wild and scenic river. All the businesses that are here they're the only businesses that will ever be here. And if a business closes down, it can never reopen. So, I like to think I'm important for the community, but, We first heard of the fire and got notice of the fire on August 13th. You could smell the smoke in the air. People were asking me. I didn't really have any information, but then I got confirmation that yes, there was a fire up at Cameron Peak. They put out the mandatory evacuation. They went door to door to all my cabins, and then there was the mass exodus. Everybody left. So it was basically just me and my mother and one set of work campers left up here. So on the 7th, which was Labor Day, was the day that it really blew up, and it was a wall of fire. I had all my immediate things loaded into the truck, what I needed to take with me, but what do? You cannot pack up an entire store. You can't pack up. At that point, I said, yeah, Mom, we need to get in the car. As I was leaving and taking the very last thing out to the truck, Larimer County Sheriff gentleman was in the parking lot saying, we have to go now, you have to go now. We have to go, it's coming. And I hollered at him because he was out of his vehicle, he was gonna help me. And I said, just shut the front door. So he shut the front door and we drove down. We only drove down like just down here. And when Mom and I were looking back at the property, we thought, it's gone. We're never gonna see it again. Once we got down the road just a little bit here, he says, you can't stay, you can't. It's like, I understand, but my neighbors across and down from us, they were still loading, and these are people I've known for, 20 years. So I'm like, I'm not leaving until, and so once we got out and driving down, we stopped about half a mile down from Rustic and pulled over at the side of the road, and we watched it. And it was huge. We sat there for about 6 hours. About halfway through there, the sheriff, Justin Smith, he stopped. They all knew I was sitting there, of course, because they could all see me sitting there alongside the road. And he stopped and gave me a fist bump, and he says, Connie, it's all still there. Wow. I couldn't believe it. And I asked them, well, can I go back? And he says, you have not left the mandatory evacuation area. You can do what you'd like. So we came back and walked property and so on. And then I had Andy with REA stop in, and he said it was going to be 2 to 3 weeks. And then we're like, okay, but I understand you don't know, and you don't want to give someone false hope, about getting their power on. And he came in asking if we were open with our cabins because they have a lot of contractors coming from Denver, from different places all over the state, and it would help if they didn't have to drive all the way down the canyon, because that's 2 hours of drive time just for the canyon. And I said, absolutely, whatever I can do to make this process go along a little bit faster, and to get my neighbors up canyon and everybody get their phone, get their electric back on, because that's essential. I've had firefighters in all of the other cabins as well as the electrical contractors. I've seen them on their first day, and then I've seen them on the day that they mob out and when they leave. And by the time they leave, they are exhausted. The day that we got the power back was, I believe it was the 13th, and Andy with REA poked his head in the door and he says, Connie, your power will be back on in 30 minutes. Oh my goodness, that was huge. I was really running out of votive candles for lighting at nighttime. And, knowing that we were going to have the lights back on and a credit card system, we were hoping that the phones would come on as soon as the power, and it did, and the power came on. That was awesome. And I look up at the canyon and it's still beautiful. It's just different now. So I do feel blessed that I got to see it before. And I'm glad that we are still here to see the after.
Wow. Thank you, Connie. What a remarkable and heartfelt story. Talk about delivering more. Your commitment to community is truly inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us today and for all your support during the Cameron Peak fire. And of course, thank you once again to all the first responders who helped our communities through this very difficult time. Now I'm going to introduce Jeff Wadsworth, Poudre Valley REA's President and CEO, for his report. Jeff?
Good morning. What a great report from our board chair. Such a meaningful video illustrating the impact last year's fire season had in our community and our members. I know we all wish we could be together and have that great fellowship our annual meetings have come to be known for, but I'm still super excited to unpack on how we're delivering more to you as we celebrate the success of your locally based, member-owned electric co-op. The last 10 years, well, we've seen our share of devastating events, from tornadoes to floods to fires, and now for the last 13 months, a pandemic. I'm proud of our team's outstanding response during this period of tremendous uncertainty. They didn't sit down when duty called. They stood up and pushed forward in answering the call with a true servant heart, while being nimble and flexible to ensure the electricity we all depend on continued to flow. We truly did not miss a beat. We stayed focused and true to our mission of providing exceptional service during this pandemic. For those of you that have heard me speak before at our annual meetings and in other venues, you know that I like to talk about how we focus on being a great value to you by being a low-cost provider. So what does that mean? Well, we entered 2020 with no rate increase, and in 2021, we were able to hold the line on rates once again. That makes 5 years in a row, your board of directors has held the line on rates, making our residential rate the lowest in Colorado for co-ops. Again, the lowest. This is a great accomplishment as we have seen other utilities announcing increases. This is a significant value to you, our members, and the region. Make sure to keep an eye out for exciting news regarding our rates in the months to come. And speaking of low costs, an area that is sometimes overlooked and my favorite is one of the best benefits of being a member of an electric cooperative. It's what we call member credits. What is member credits? Well, it's after all the co-op expenses are paid, any additional money we earn goes right back into our community to you through these member credits. In 2020, your board of directors returned more than $3 million. And over the last 5 years, well, we've returned over $20 million to you, our members, with some of the largest credits going to local businesses, school districts, towns, cities, and large manufacturing companies. These member credits equal a substantial dollar amount, and in true co-op spirit, puts money right back into the local economy. It's a huge benefit of being a co-op. Being low cost is one of the ways your local electric co-op is delivering more. While we are focused on being low cost, we are also dedicated to providing reliable power 365, 24/7. The recent March storm that brought significant amount of heavy wet snow to our area certainly challenged our system. Combined with the blizzard conditions and really impassable roads, access to restore power was challenging. And those challenges brought out the best in our line crews. We worked 24/7 and did not stop until all power was restored as quickly and safely as possible. And we're always working to improve our system, so these extreme weather events like the storm we recently experienced have minimum disruption to you. So while we're on the topic of extreme weather, in mid-February, the national grid really experienced epic and unprecedented stress, with severe weather causing rolling blackouts in Texas and widespread power outages across the United States. In the wake of these events, our reliability was not compromised, and we were able to meet the demands for electricity throughout the cold snap. It's also important to note we had no increase in cost, as seen by many others across our region and the country. To add more color to this conversation, I've asked Dwayne Hiley, the CEO of Tri-State Generation and Transmission, our cooperative power supplier, to discuss their response. Dwayne?
Thank you, Jeff, and thank you to the Poudre Valley Board of Directors, and I want to especially thank you for sending Thane Mickey to represent Poudre Valley on the Tri-State Board of Directors. I'm really pleased to work with Thane. I wanted to share a little bit of information about the recent February winter storm. I'm sure you've heard about the national impacts and how many utilities have sustained rate increases because of the impacts during that weather event. But fortunately, because of working together as a cooperative system, and planning together for the winter output, we were able to weather that storm and actually deliver energy with no adverse impacts to our members. And as a result of that planning and working together, we don't anticipate any rate increases to members as a result of the storm. As we saw the winter storm approaching, everyone started working together to make preparations to keep the power reliable and affordable. And I'm pleased to say that the generating resources that you all own and have invested in performed exceptionally well and worked together to preserve reliability. A mix of resources from coal, gas, and oil, along with solar, wind, and hydroelectric, all worked together during that period, providing power when we needed it the most. And I especially want to thank our employees for being there through the harshest of weather to make sure everything was running as needed. I also want to thank Poudre Valley REA and our other 41 utility members who've come together across multiple states with diverse load resources and combine that with the generating plants that operate across multiple states and multiple regions. Together, that diversity brings greater reliability and greater affordability and allows us to deliver on our mission to be reliable, affordable, and flexible for our members. And by combining our resources across those multiple regions, we actually have a stronger system than any of us could have by ourselves. Tri-State's mission is to deliver reliable, affordable, and responsible energy to our members. So to that end, in January 2020, we announced our Responsible Energy Plan. First and foremost, to continue to preserve reliability as our first goal. Second, to have the goal of reducing rates, and that is something we're going to be able to do while also reaching our third goal of a more responsible, more clean energy supply. So by the year 2024, half the energy consumed by our members will come from clean energy resources. By the year 2030, 70% of the energy consumed by our members will come from clean energy resources. And in Colorado, we will reduce our carbon emissions by 80%. Today, we're facing some of the greatest challenges we've ever faced in the energy business. And yet together with Poudre Valley REA, under the cooperative business model, we have the greatest possible chance of success overcoming those challenges. Jeff, thank you for inviting me to participate in your meeting today, and back to you.
Thanks, Dwayne, and great job to all the employees at Tri-State. I'm confident that through careful planning and resource diversity, we will continue to work together to deliver the same reliable power we are known for, regardless of the future power selection or severe weather. And speaking of the future, I'd like to share an update on our Red Feather Microgrid project we have been working on for the past 12 months. The threat of winter storms and other extreme weather and wildfires like the recent Cameron Peak fire all pose serious threats to the reliability to this area. Based on this, we've been hard at work with the community and other partners to install really a first-of-its-kind microgrid, a self-sufficient energy system which can help serve this isolated area. This project is a cooperative effort rooted in the community. As the Red Feather Lakes Library approached us with their desire to add solar to their footprint. Well, once we received this inquiry, we rolled up our sleeves in true co-op fashion and went to work and began involving other partners, including the Red Feather Lakes Volunteer Fire Department and Tri-State. We also secured funding from the Department of Energy and technical assistance through a national lab. So besides the solar at the library, the system will also include a battery, a Tesla battery installed at the fire station, along with the use of the fire station's generator. And last, but certainly not least, there's software, or what I like to call really the brains behind it all. It's going to make all three of these technologies work together seamlessly. And what is so special about this site location is the critical community service this microgrid supports, from fire and emergency medical services to the library with their broadband and shelter, and as well as other community meeting buildings, telecommunications, fuel, food, the grocery store, water, and even the post office. This project is a huge step forward in our industry as it's helping us better understand how a microgrid functions as we integrate it into our electric system, and how we can apply this knowledge to the future projects as the cost and performance of this technology improves. It's yet another way we are delivering more. So the last area I plan to cover this morning with you is our laser focus on providing you, our members, with exceptional service. Whether it's through our robust rebates, which includes many new additions this year, our products and service offerings such as our My Co-op, My Plan tool, our new pilot rates, or a commitment of having local renewable energy and our 80 by 30 goal, our focus remains on providing exceptional service. All of this is driven by our why. And our why has you, our members, squarely in the middle. It's about making a positive impact in our community and in your life, the life of our members, through the service that we provide. We have a saying around here, do the little things. Do the little things so that way big things can happen. A great illustration of this is our new bill design that was recently rolled out. And while this may seem trivial, it's not. This was an employee-driven change, not from top down, but from bottom up, with a focus to improve our service and life and live out our why, to measure on how we're delivering on our promise of exceptional service. We do this by surveying you, our members, using a national customer satisfaction index called the ACSI score. We started measuring the score in 2013. Back then, we had a score of 76. Thanks to a strategic focus on improving member satisfaction, our ACSI score has improved significantly to an 85 at the end of 2020. That's a 9-point increase. While I'll not get into the details of the score, what I do want to share with you is how we measure up against some iconic brands and what an 85 means. Well, an 85 means we scored higher than Southwest, Trader Joe's, Costco, Apple, and my personal favorite, Chick-fil-A. From top to down, these results are incredibly meaningful to all of us here because it means that we are living out our why. We are making a difference to you. And we can see it through the increase in your satisfaction and how we are delivering more. I'm so energized and honored to be the leader of this great organization. It has been an extraordinary 13 months, and our future is so bright. And I know we're going to continue to live out and to fulfill our core mission of providing you with safe, low-cost, and reliable electricity, and to the communities that we serve. In closing, I want to share with you a video of great personal meaning to Poudre Valley. It does an incredible job illustrating the commitment of delivering more by the team here. Please enjoy You Know the Kind, written by Smiley Miller. What a great name, and performed by our very own Jessica Johnson. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this video as much as I do.
4:30 in the morning when the phone rings without a warning. A little shudder, yeah, he'd love a little more. But he knows somewhere somebody out there needs him. Destiny's calling, wraps him up. Quiet kiss, cup of coffee, and he's out the door. 'Cause there's a job to do, and a chosen few, strong enough to take that call. Takes a special kind to make that sacrifice, lend a helping hand to all. You know the kind to leave their fears behind, the kind to step out on the line and save the world again. You know the kind, never quit till the day is through, looking out after me and you, what it comes to in the end. Must be some kind of hero, you know. When the storms of life are raging and the darkness closes in, there are those who give their heart and souls to help along a fellow man with the courage of a father's and devotion of a friend. There's a light in the kind of hero got us safely home again. You know the kind of leave their fears behind, the kind of step out on the line and save the world again. You know the kind, never quit till the day is through, looking out after me and you, what it comes to in the end. Must be some kind of hero. You know the kind.
Well, that's a tough act to follow. What a beautiful song, and a glimpse into the dedication and hard work put forth by our line crews day in and day out. Now to wrap things up, let's move to this year's election results. There were 3 open board seats and 3 candidates, resulting in an uncontested election. Our incoming directors are incumbent Jan Peterson, representing Larimer County, incumbent Jack Schneider, representing Weld County, and Cheryl Dreyer Henderson, representing Larimer County. Now to all our members watching, don't forget to submit your prize form for your chance to win this year's amazing door prizes. And one of those 2 grand prizes. You too, high school seniors, submit your entry to win the $1,000 Luck of the Draw scholarship. As a reminder, we will contact the winners directly, and the results will be posted on our annual meeting webpage, which is where you can also read our 2020 annual report. For any other questions or comments, give us a call or shoot us an email. Thank you for joining our virtual annual meeting this beautiful Saturday morning. We're thankful for you, our members, and proudly serve you. We look forward to the future as we continue to do our part in delivering more. We hope to see you next year when we're live and in person right here at the Embassy Suites. Thank you, and goodbye for now.